Hello, everybody. It is me, Darcy. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to the Unnamed Podcast. Podcast where I sit here with this guy for about time, talking rubbish or whatever else has come to my mind this week.
Yeah, it seems right.
Yeah, it's pretty much how it goes. As always, why don't we start things off with a little bit of channel news? Oh, that was louder than I wanted it to be. I was going to try and stealth it under the channel news part.
No, it didn't work, did it? Especially since you did it at the end.
It was sharper than my news.
Okay, well,
Anyway, channel news.
on Monday, it was Murder on the Orient Express.
We did, in fact, play that game. We did, in fact, find out if we were supposed to be murdering or solving murders.
Solving was the answer.
Yeah.
Bit disappointing.
Look, honestly, if you saw the two of us rock up to your place and you were like, solving murders or committing murders, you're hoping it's the second one, because we might accidentally do that.
Yeah.
No one's accidentally solving a murder.
Yeah, I suppose it's possible.
It did show off Kris's lackluster skills at solving some of the simplest puzzles.
No, I solved them. I just wasn't paying attention.
It took you a very long time.
I wasn't paying attention.
It took you a very long time.
In my defense, it wasn't as straightforward as it could have been.
Look, I will say there was one that goofed me, but I also wasn't reading it, nor was I actually hearing anything. I was like, do this, do this, do this.
Whereas every time I had to hear something and pay attention, you just started talking to me, so I started paying attention to you instead of the game.
I find it amazingly embarrassing that you cannot listen to a game and a person at the same time.
Oh, I just started ignoring the game because I was talking.
Yeah, exactly, but that's kind of my point. Like, one of the things that gamer guys are supposed to be good at is paying attention to what is being said to them by someone in the room and a video game at the same time.
Not always, but whatever.
Anyway, yeah, so we did. That was one of the 3 mustachioed videos that we made. Also, there's the ones that came out.
We didn't have video on that, did we?
No, but it was a mustache game.
Oh, yes.
You're a detective and you're collecting mustaches. That's about as mustachy as you can get.
That's true. That's true.
And yeah, so that was one of those games. It came out. Yeah,
on Monday.
Honestly, if you want to see Kris keep playing it, we'll, hopefully we'll continue to play it. But maybe not like
straight away.
8 months between the next 2 episodes. Hopefully, maybe it will be. Who knows? I don't know.
We'll see. We'll figure that out.
I kind of fly on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, you do.
So as long as I know what's coming out the next day that something's coming out, yeah, we're good.
And that's not always a thing. Knew it.
Gets to 7 o'clock on a Sunday night, and I go, oh, jeez.
I need to work.
Not even that. I go, oh, I hope one of the things I've been doing is good enough to come out on Monday. Which one's going to take less time?
Ooh, shit, yeah, fair point.
Or like the classic fucking... Oh no, I need something and I haven't done any editing. I thought I had done editing. Oh shit, what one's going to take the least amount of time? This. This one will take the least amount of time. No, so yeah, Murder on the Orient Express came out, as I said, with all of these like single player kind of games. We don't do them very often, just because it's not a very conducive use of time to have us both here and only filming something where one of us is doing something when it's like, oh, what else do you need? I need this. Oh, yeah. But yeah, no, so if we do want to continue that, hopefully we will be able to do that.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
And then, I want to say it, today, Wednesday.
On the Wednesday.
Yeah.
On the Wednesday.
Subnautica is the next part that came out.
Yeah, the last part I filmed, so I've got to get back onto filming some of that. But I have a schedule for this holidays that I've been more or less sticking to, which is actually working out really well for me at the moment.
So that's good.
Just coming in and doing like 5 hours of work every day and just using that because I don't have to then go and do like 7 hours of work starting at 3 o'clock.
True. Yeah.
So it's like instead of I've just been like coming in and being like, okay, have some lunch, start working, finish work, have some dinner. The evening is mine. That's way better than what I usually do. And it's like, wake up, do some work, have some lunch, go to work, get back home, have some dinner, do some more work. Oh god, it's midnight.
Yeah, that's actually fair.
But yeah, no. So that other than my hectic schedule, that's been going really well. So yeah, the last part of Subnautica's come out. that I filmed so far.
Yeah.
In terms of where we got up to, I'm really proud of myself so far. Like in that one,
Some good stuff happened by the sounds of it.
I went on a massacre. Like I just got my fire knife and was just like, let's stab some bitches. Bitches were stabbed.
A fire knife?
Fire knife.
Fire knife, okay.
It's the preferred weapon of everyone on a water filled planet.
Or to mention.
And then so then what else did I do? I kind of finished up exploring the Aurora, I hope, which is the large crashed spaceship, which is it's a very interesting thing. But like it's kind of like you're walking around this ship and it's like, this is the ship I almost died on. That everyone else who's on it did die on.
Well, of course.
But it's also like I was just like, as you're moving around it, you're kind of just like, this is not at all what human spaceships would be like. Because it's just like these giant areas where it's like, this is a hallway, and you're like, I've been on a boat. We're not making hallways this big. We're humans. We're like, oh, yeah, you can fit in a hallway this big. And you're like, and it's like, that way we have more room to pack more things in.
Pretty much.
It's like, it's not going to be like, yeah, comfort first.
Yeah, fuck no. Hell no, it's not going to be
They're going to be like, oh, we have a population of mostly 6'5" people. Cool, make the hallways 5'6".
Don't do it.
But
like, yeah, they do it actually.
Oh, that's why I can't go on submarines. Because they're just not designed for someone of my shoulder width. So I walk in and I'm like, and like, what did you do? I just launched all of the missiles.
And it was an accident. You made it too small.
I launched all the missiles, I gave away our position, and I opened the door. My bad.
Oh, is that why we're drowning? Yes. Yes, it is. Must suck to be short. I get to live longer. Oh, I get to see what I'm about to go through. Oh, no.
Pretty much. But yeah, no. So I did that. I got the prawn suit. I already technically have the prawn suit, but I now have the idea of how I'm supposed to do it.
Okay.
And more importantly than almost anything else, I turned one of the hallways in my base into a bedroom. And I could not fit a double bed in it, so it's as the name of the video says, luckily I am sad and lonely because I put a single bed in there.
That explains the name. I was waiting to hear the reason for that.
Pretty much, it's a sad and lonely game. It's a game of being sad and lonely.
Well, you don't really see anyone else, do you?
Which is probably for the best, because everything that everyone else is near is being infected by the monster creatures. And when I say that, I mean they've been eaten.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Although it wouldn't be more realistic if you were to like pop into one of those bases and just be like, oh look, there's a half-eaten human.
Oh, yeah, true.
Because the fish only managed to get half the legs and it couldn't pull it out, and I was like, oh, fuck it.
Well, I got some food, that'll do.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, there we go. That's a bit grisly.
Just a bit.
But no, yeah, I'm enjoying my time in Subnautica. I'll probably over the next couple of days film the next part of that. But I think what I'm going to do before I do that is I am going to start the Hitman playthrough.
Okay, yeah.
So I want to do that as well. So hopefully, depending on how well tomorrow goes, hopefully I'll do some filming on Friday.
Yeah, fair enough.
Although apparently also Caleb's back this weekend.
Yes, he is.
And I'm like, oh.
Fucker, you only left last weekend.
I think I might have to hit a pitch in the head with a stick.
I think so.
Nah, I don't know what he's doing, but hopefully we'll catch up. So hopefully.
Yeah, I think he's going to try to.
Yeah. But I also don't know. Like, my only. We'll talk about this after Channel News, but I have an idea of the reason why he's come back.
I know why he's coming back.
Yeah, it's a very Caleb reason, isn't it?
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, and then Friday, well, obviously after this comes out, and I am still playing around with the times. So usually I was releasing it at 2, but I'm thinking the 5 o'clock release actually works better.
Okay.
And to go for a bit of a later one, so it's like the after everyone's knocked off type of thing on a Friday.
I suppose.
Will be the next part of Minecraft, Chris's big adventure. Chris actually gets to go on an adventure in this episode of Minecraft. It's astounding.
Oh, yes.
And then, yeah, today, literally just before this, we filmed
the next Minecraft.
We filmed the next Minecraft. We also filmed the next
Look forward to
2
that.
Satisfactories. So they're in the bag, belt, box. They're in a container of some sort.
Yeah.
And depending on how I feel, you might actually get to see some of Kris's Satisfactory. You'll probably get to see some of Kris's Satisfactory.
I do a little bit of exploring in this one, so
Yeah.
but not just building.
I do a bit of building.
Yeah.
But that is all to come in the coming days. It'll probably be about 2 weeks before you see any of the Satisfactory, and it'll probably be next week before you see the Minecraft. Although, fingers crossed. Hopefully after that we'll be able to go back to filming 2 episodes of Minecraft at a time, so I can edit 2 episodes of Minecraft at a time.
Yeah.
Because it's really starting to bust my balls trying to edit the Minecraft literally the day before it's because it is one of the hardest edits we do, because it's just it's pretty much watching 2 hours of footage and then editing 2 hours of footage.
Yeah.
It's a long hard. It's a hard slog. It's a hard edit.
Yeah.
But other than that, there is other things we've got to do. It's literally halfway through September, and even though we've been saying for months now we're getting on top of the Halloween stuff, we're not on any of that.
we never do it. We said it last year too.
But I'm hoping that come the end of September, I will at least have the first 2 things done. I just need to get some time to do them.
Yeah.
Then other than that, we have one more of the mustachioed episodes coming out. Doing things that only mustache men do.
Oh, cool.
Disarming a bomb. Turns out we have done the maths on that. It turns out I'm actually much better at disarming bombs than Kris.
We knew that to start with. We didn't need to do math. It was obvious.
Yeah. And then other than that, we've got we also have the next Gears of War. That was a long one. It's going to be a really long edit too.
Yeah.
It's the part though. Like if it was just 2 hours of gameplay, really easy edit. But it's not 2 hours of gameplay. It's a lot of stopping and starting and sort of playing and then not playing and then going back, and it's going to be
yeah.
But that one's also to come. So we hopefully we'll keep you entertained for the next couple of weeks without having to do my head in too much.
Yeah. Unless it does do your head in, probably will.
Honestly, the thing I have to do now is quickly go through all of the footage I have and get rid of what I've already used, without doing what I often do and get rid of stuff that I'm currently using.
Yes,
because that happens often.
Well, at least you're on holidays, so there's less of an excuse.
Yeah. Look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look. Once I finish the current Minecraft, it'll be like, oh, thank God, I can just. Everything before then is good, I think.
Maybe.
But yeah, no, that's been going. More of the shorts are coming out. Lots of stuff there. I haven't even started looking at the next batch of shorts because literally these shorts will take us into October.
Jesus Christ! There
were the first day of September, I had 31.
Yeah, I know.
So I was like, that'll take me to October.
Fuck. Okay.
But shorts actually, despite what you might believe about them, shorts are actually a pain in the ass to edit.
I could imagine.
They really are. Like, you plan... what I do is I sit through and I plan... I'm like, oh, that's a really good line. I'll take that. Oh, that's a great thing. I'll take that. So, like, I might only end up with, like, 10 minutes out of an hour-long video of parts. But, like, just making the short process, because it's... It would be so not an issue if I could use my computers. But because you can't, it's all done on phone, it becomes just the biggest issue. Because it's like, phones are not designed to do editing on.
Look, I'm fairly certain there's already a part in the next Satisfactory.
Oh.
That you'll be using out of my footage.
More than likely.
At least for a short.
More than likely. There'll definitely be some stuff out of the last Minecraft that'll be done in shorts.
It's a lot. That episode was fun.
It was insane. I don't have any idea when it stopped recording though.
No, I have no idea.
Because unfortunately, in the latest episode of Minecraft, pretty much the first part, I was doing something and I was like, and I'm like, why is my stuff stop recording? And it's weird because I had to stop everything to start the recording.
Oh.
Yeah, so I had to start the recording, then like pop everything back on. I went, okay, everything's good. And that's because you were talking about your crash when I was starting on my recording.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, and I looked over halfway through the mayhem, and I was just like, where the fuck is my recording stopped?
Yeah, because for me to start recording Minecraft, I pretty much have to do this. Open the game, set it all up, start the recording, which crashes the game.
I have no idea why that happens.
Yeah, and then reopen the game and it works fine. I don't have to change any of the settings because it's already loaded up, but it's an annoying situation of I have to let the game crash every time.
It's a good system.
It's supposed to be a system of minimizing the screen.
Yeah, my screen did that like right in the middle of the game. Like, I was doing something, and all of a sudden my screen just went down. Like, what the fuck is actually happening? Yeah. And it turned out that Google had just popped open, had a pop-up which closed everything, because the pop-up caused Google to go, I'm the main screen now. And Minecraft went, oh, you want Google to be your main screen? I went, no.
No, I didn't want that. Fuck you. No, because mine was fucking. It was basically looking at it better today. I can do everything else in the recording software except for start, stop, and pause. If I start, stop, or pause, it crashes the game. Everything else works fine.
That's ridiculous.
It's fucking annoying.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think that just about covers most of channel news.
I think so.
Other than, of course, the fact that we are now up to, last I checked, 173 subscribers.
Indeed, yes, that's what it was when I checked.
Which is freaking awesome, because I think last week we were just under the 160 mark.
I think so. I think we were 159.
And so that's, as I said, it is actually all pretty much thanks to the shorts. But they are, man, are they helping.
Oh yeah.
Get that subscriber count up, and when that subscriber count goes up, as I said, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. YouTube is such a massive conglomeration of just so much stuff that it's easy to get lost, and so you kind of need to become bigger to be found. And yeah, man, it's kind of amazing. As I said, we were sitting there, I was hoping that, maybe we'd hit 200 by the end of the year, but if we continue on the rate we're going, we'll hit 200 before Halloween.
Yeah,
which is fun. Which is actually incredibly awesome.
So, which is a huge amount of growth.
But yeah, speaking of that, it's always funny because we're a YouTube channel. A lot of our suggestions are like stuff on like growing your YouTube channel. Yeah. And it's like one of the funniest things ever is like people's suggestions, because they're all the same. It's all like, have a catchy title, have this, have that. Make this sort of content, make that sort of content, So it's all just guesswork, because it seems like 99% luck. But just one of the ones I was watching the other day, because they were talking about how like really fast channels grow, and I was like, oh, I wonder what they. And obviously there was no good information there anyway, because it was all just kind of like, be incredibly lucky.
Pretty much.
But one of the funniest things was this guy, and it's like, usually it takes a couple of months for people to get 1,000 subscribers. And I went, that's not at all what the statistics show.
No.
Most statistics show that
in the next couple of years.
Well, for a majority of people, they will never make 1,000 subscribers.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the statistics. The only channels that I've ever seen that really make large numbers really quickly are either subservient channels, aka someone's second channel, where they go look at my second channel where we're doing this, and it's like, cool, and so they just move their audience to another channel.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, well, I like their stuff, so I'll do their stuff. And the other ones are ones where it's like, people going, okay, I'm leaving this channel and making my own, this is that channel, and then that channel gets heaps.
Oh, yeah.
But otherwise, I'm like, months. I've never seen anyone, very rarely do you see people do months. Like, the ones that do, they have that big growth. I think Mad had massive growth like that.
They would have, yeah.
But then again, even that started to fall apart after a year.
Yeah.
Because, as we've always said, the slow growth is good for us because it shows us what we've got to do. But could you imagine if we had, from day one, if we had like 1,000 subscribers in that first week? Our videos would still suck.
No, they would. Of course they would.
And they're not of them saying they're good, but they would suck even more. The podcast wouldn't have people in it.
Yeah.
My editing skills would still be Stone Age.
Yeah. Don't worry, we've got to hit that point at some point again. When you start handing editing to me.
To be fair, you're not... One day, when it's actually cost effective for me, because the only reason it's not now is that I can't... It's just time where I'm not editing if I'm teaching someone to edit.
Yeah.
And it's just like... I'm not a patient man. And it's like, the thing is, like, okay, I can teach Kris to edit, and it might take 2 hours to edit something that takes me an hour to edit.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, that's an hour of wasted time.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I just don't have the time to waste. Not with all the fucking balls I have in the air juggling.
True.
Hopefully, as we say, when we get to the point where we can actually start making money off this stuff, if we ever get there. But when we do get there, gotta stay positive, you see, people.
Exactly.
But when we do get there, then it'll be, I'll be able to slow down because I won't rely on my other jobs so much.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's like, okay, now that I can actually treat this as a thing, then I have the time.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Well, 5 hours a day is doing me wonders. Imagine what like a 6 or 7 hour day would do. And being able to do 5 of them a week. It would give me my life back.
Yes.
But yeah, no, that's it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, it'd be awesome to have like a massive influx of subscribers and start like earning the big bucks straight away. But at the same time, I feel like that takes away a bit of your growth ability.
I think so as well. Like at the moment, like I think we're still figuring stuff out a lot. Like you're still figuring out a lot with editing. I'm still trying to get better on camera. And then eventually the editing. So that at least gives us some time.
Beer and warm lemon, mate.
That was a bad choice, wasn't it?
Nah, it was brilliant. It's just warm lemon.
The drink of the channel's back. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So that just about wraps up channel news, guys. But
so.
Yeah, stay tuned for more stuff happening. We will always be doing it, and that moves us on to the podcast properly. So I think we're going to start things off because we did touch on it in channel news by talking about Caleb, our mate, who's literally had like 2 going away parties now.
No, yeah, there was 2.
2 going away parties, and is coming back literally like less than 7 days after he went away.
Indeed, he is. Yes.
No, but as I said, the reason I know that he's like, oh yeah, hopefully we'll get to see everyone, but I also know the reason he's coming back is because he's him and he was not ready to leave when he left.
Nope.
Absolutely. He's got so much he has to do.
He is coming back this weekend to finish packing to take the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's exactly what's happening.
That's exactly what I thought, and I was just like, because everyone's like, oh, he's coming back next weekend. And I'm like, oh, Caleb. It's not even like he's like, I know that it's only a 6-month sit away, but he's like, it's not like it's a surprise or anything. He's known about this for a while.
Oh, yeah.
It's just been like, okay, I'm doing this. It's like, okay, I've got to get this. It's like, okay, and then he just never does it. Never does it.
It's kind of like what I did when moving into Jordan's place. Packed the night before. Except I believe I have less stuff than he does.
Well, he's not taken all of it.
Obviously. Oh, yeah, no, he's going to leave some.
So I did talk to Hannah about that one day. I was like, how is he taking like all of his furniture and stuff? She's like, it's not. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense because I'm like, it's not fitting in his car.
Then he's not going to need furniture when he gets there anyway.
Well, no, that's what he said. He's like, the one good thing about moving back in with my parents. And I was like, well,
yeah.
That and all the money you'll save. But at the same time, it's him, so whatever he saves on rent, he'll spend on something else.
Yes.
Probably alcohol.
More than likely.
Oh, fuck.
Maybe a little less, unless he meets up with a bunch of his friends from Brisbane. Yeah, it's going to happen. Never mind. Never mind what I just said.
Yeah, no, but it's funny. Oh, look, we'll see how he's going. I'll have a chat to him. and be like, "Hey man, how's it going?"
Yeah, I'll definitely be seeing him because he's got one of my books. And he figured it out last weekend, but I'd already started having a couple of drinks. I'm like, I'm not going out again today. But he'd already had a couple of drinks, so it was like, he's not going out either.
He's not going to spend any money he makes extra on alcohol.
No.
No, but it's fucking brilliant. I love it. I love it so much because we gave him so much shit about it too. Because everyone was giving him shit this weekend about the fact that didn't you have your going away party last weekend? Yeah, but this is just like after.
No. Do you know what the funniest thing about that was though?
He was supposed to leave Saturday.
I'm leaving Saturday, so I'm not having a big one on Friday. So he had a big one on Friday and
What
left on Sunday.
time did we get home? Because you weren't there. But I definitely remember us being in the back of someone's car.
It was after 2 a.m.
And Jordan not wearing a seatbelt.
Jordan had a snap or a video with the time on it. It was like, it's just after 2.
We sent Jordan home first, then me. I fell out of a car.
What?
I hopped out of the car, but it hadn't stopped moving, and I was very drunk. So I went, and so it wasn't even a big car; it was Abby's car. So the door opens, I step out, and then I just disappear.
That's actually funny.
Yeah. I was mean to Caleb.
Yeah.
At one point, I'm sitting there, and they're like, "What the hell's going on?" And Jordan's like, "Don't worry, everything's fine." And they're like, "Why haven't you got your seatbelts on?" We're like, "We can't find our seatbelts." We found our seatbelts. Then Jordan's like, "Okay, my seatbelts," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I can't get this other side in because he was in the middle seat."
Yeah.
And because it was me, Caleb, and Jordan in the back, it's like there's no room.
No, there's not.
And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, I can't get this in. And they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing. Don't worry." I'm like, "Don't worry, Jordan. I'll just hold your life in my hands."
That sounds right. That sounds absolutely right. The downside to the back of cars with us, it's like none of us are small.
Yeah, and so that's how the night where I'm only having 2 beers ended.
Yeah, I knew that. But I didn't show up until like after 7 because I didn't finish work until like 5:30. So it was just.
I'm trying to think of what time you left.
10.
Yeah. Because I was like, you weren't with us.
Yeah.
What were we doing?
I don't know. I can tell you exactly what time.
I was like, Jesus Christ.
I told Caleb I was going to be out till 10 anyway.
Yeah, I was just trying to think. Because I was like, then we went to the goat. I'm like, yeah, we're having a good time with the goat. Then I'm like, oh shit. Then everything goes weird.
Yeah, it's about how it went.
Well, I remember everything. It's just like, I just feel like we were there because we were there with. Yeah, I remember. Everything goes weird. And then we were in a car, and there was a fucking wind turbine next to us.
Oh, yeah.
And I made a joke about Caleb, which everyone was like, oh, and I was like, sorry, Caleb, I'm really drunk.
Would you have made that joke while sober?
Possibly, but.
Yeah.
You know how I get like really, really just very funny, but also quite mean when I'm drinking? Because the part of me that goes, don't say that. That'll upset someone.
It chimes in after you've said it. You say it, it's like, don't say that. That'll upset them. Oh, shit, too late.
Dusty, you've already said it. Wait, did I say that out loud?
Shit.
I better not say that. That'll upset them. You've already said it, Darcy.
Yeah.
What are you doing in my head? I'm not in your head. You're just saying everything you think out loud. Well, that doesn't seem right. I think you're an instant idiot.
Said that out loud. I know, I meant to.
Wait, what? No, I didn't. I'm thinking in my head. Get out of my head. Anyway, no, so that was this weekend. Yeah. That was brilliant fun.
True. Yeah. I had no intention of going out to the club. Someone said it to me. It's like, we're going to the goat later. I'm like, fuck off. I am not going to the goat.
Well, that was just like everything that was happening that night. Like, so Cam and Arcadia have just moved into a new place.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And they were there with their bags, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And they're like, "We're going to Brisbane with Caleb," and I was like, "Yeah, first of all, that's not happening because look at that."
Yeah.
Second of all, and they're like, "No, we're catching a plane heading there. We're just going down for the Cam's brother's birthday."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." So they were there until about 7.
Would have been
ish.
They would have left just before 7.
Yeah.
So I think I got there just after.
And then Caleb had a flower or something that he was given that did not survive the night.
Oh, fuck no, it didn't.
Because that became everyone's weapon of choice.
Yes. And every time it hit Josh, it just exploded.
Yeah, and like, look, I saw some videos there. I'm like, there's a video of Caleb getting a piggyback with a thing in his mouth.
No, I never saw that.
I think it was on Josh's snap. It's on one of their snaps.
Yeah.
But it's like Caleb getting a piggyback with the flower is either in his mouth or the person giving piggyback's mouth. And I'm like, they're on their way to the goat.
Yeah.
I was there. I do not remember that happening.
That sounds right.
But it could also be after me and Jordan crossed the road. Because we were like, we'll just cross the road here. And we crossed the road and they're like, you idiot, you can't cross the road there or some shit like that.
Why not?
I don't know.
I have questions.
I don't know what was happening.
Oh, I'm aware.
But, you know, it was also, like, we get to the goat, I'm like, oh, excellent. Oh, no, it's a Friday night. And everyone's like, what's wrong with that? And I'm like, Friday night, they don't have the kitchen open. I can't get my chicken chippies.
The chicken chippies.
It was only hilarious because the weekend before, once we got to the goat, that's pretty much all I had. Caleb's like, let's go get a drink. I come back with chicken chippies.
And then he disappears again and comes back with chicken chippies.
Dude just served me. I'm like, can I grab some chicken chips and gravy? And he's like, yeah, here you go, man. And I'm like, thank you. And I left. And then like 5 seconds later, I'm like, can I get another one, please?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm like, I'm very drunk. He's like, I can tell.
I can tell. Fair enough.
To be fair, I had also not eaten that day, so that was technically my dinner.
Yeah, it was. And everyone else ate it as well.
But yeah, no, fucking that's classic. So basically what's going to happen is Caleb's going to come up and be like, hey, and we're like, you're not allowed to see anyone because you're supposed to be packing. And he's going to see people and he's not going to pack.
No, he's not.
Fuck is he?
It's either he was going to spend all of Sunday packing and be like, I've got to head back later than I wanted to.
Oh, he's a menace.
Oh, yes.
It's absolutely the worst. But yeah, no.
So hilarious.
Well, speaking of things that we got up to this week, I got a phone call. Well, not a phone call. I got a Discord call yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That I wasn't expecting. And that I wasn't really intended to be in. But I would like to just point out that, considering that I was playing baseball, I was the best at playing the puzzle game.
Yes,
that Kris and Jaden were playing. So last night I'm sitting there and my Discord starts going up. I'm like, I'm not expecting any calls from anyone. And I'm playing baseball and I'm like, I'll see who's calling. And it was our mate Jaden. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. I'm like, maybe he's like got something to ask or something like this. And I jump in and he goes, I forgot this was a 3-way call. So he just accidentally called me and then we're talking shit about Kris and then Kris jumped on eventually.
Yeah.
And then they start playing a puzzle game.
Escape Simulator.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm going to go back and play baseball. And I'm playing baseball. And then I start hearing them like having just the worst, hardest time ever solving what seems to be rather simple puzzles.
Some of them were just like, what it was showing was like, what the fuck is this?
As I'm sitting there listening to them and I was chatting and just being unhelpful as I usually am. But then they're like, I don't know what's going on here. And I'm like, okay, well, hang on, how about this? Is this an answer? And oh, okay, well, hang on, tell me what you got again. And so for about 3 hours of a phone call that I didn't really want, I just sat there playing baseball, listening to 2 guys arguing about things, and being like, okay, hang on, and getting snaps of like puzzles and being like, well, here's how you solve this one.
Not all of them were that simple.
No, but the horse one was. Like,
oh yeah, the horse one.
The second I saw the horse one, I went, oh, hang on, that's Kris. This is incredibly easy.
I think I was a little out of it at that point. I'm just like, oh fuck, it's.
But yeah, it was incredibly funny because I'm just sitting there being like, I don't know what's going on, and then I'm like I'm trying to help them solve puzzles that I have none of the information on, and it's like, well, maybe.
Well, there was a time where it's like I was solving puzzles, and then Jaden was just like talking to you to try to solve yours. I'm like, got this one, cool. It's gonna go do that one.
Oh yeah. But yeah. That was hilariously funny to me because I was just sitting there, I'm just like, wait, what the. I think at some point you're saying stuff to me and I'm going, okay, well, maybe try this, or maybe try that. And it's like, oh, hang on, there's this piece of information. Like, that piece of information makes the whole puzzle not a thing.
Exactly. But it's like, a lot of the time it's this thing, I'm like looking at this puzzle, I'm like, how the fuck am I doing this? There's nothing else here. And like, Jaden can see me looking at it, and it's like, after a while, he's like, I've got this thing here. It's like, fucking hell.
Well, it was like the one
I used that ages ago.
It was like the one where we were sitting there going like, okay, so we've got the 2 pints alcohol, we've got the 8 of clubs for gambling. Man, we need something for tobacco. And me and you were like, look, you like sent me the picture of the ashtray stuff, and then Jaden pipes up like after we've been talking about it for a while. Oh yeah, there's this tobacco box here that says 60 something on it, and we're like, that's the number. That's the number.
No, so he completed the puzzle to find that one. So he'd only just completed that puzzle.
Oh, had he? I thought the puzzle that he was doing was the one that he'd actually completed a little bit earlier.
So the one he was doing with the guns on it, gave the last badge to put in to open a puzzle, and he finished that puzzle and then found it. So
right,
but it was like, we're trying to figure this out. I
got it from doing the guns, and like because he'd done the guns ages ago, like quite a bit of time ago. I was listening, going, "Wait, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
So I thought he'd just like picked it up and be like, "Oh, no, ignore it."
Yeah,
I don't need this.
But the problem is like with that game, especially in the DLC, it happens a lot where it's like you start it and you're like, okay, I can see that, I can see that, I can see that, sweet. But to get to this thing over here, I need to complete these 5 things over here, which I can't complete until I've completed this one thing over here.
Oh yeah,
and then you can finally get to this last thing. It's like, fuck, it's the first thing I saw. Come on,
that's sort of the whole point. But I think the part that I found funniest was just the part where he's in there, and he's like, okay, I need to do this, and he just read me out instructions. He read me out what he needed to do, and I was like, okay. And then he's like, okay, what do I do? And I'm like, okay, do this. It's like, excellent.
I'm done.
I was just like, fuck, okay.
But then there was that betting one that we were all stumped on.
Oh.
Well, it was actually you and me stumped on it. Jaden had no idea what he was looking at.
I was sitting there, and I was trying to figure it out so much, because I was like, I was actually going, like, I was doing heaps of deep level math on that. I was like, and I was like looking at the thing. I never once occurred to me that it was just the numbers from those lines. Because
there was one point we thought there was 2 for one thing, and we both agreed that there was 2 for one of them.
When that didn't work, I went, okay, hang on, what? And I went, oh, in the wording, it never says you take the bet back. It just says your money stays. You don't lose the money. And I'm like, wait, does that mean that if you don't lose and you don't win, your winnings is actually numbers, like the number of times you bet? So I was sitting there being like,
that was my first thought as well.
I'm like, what is the difference between here? I was like coming up with numbers like 8, 3, 1, shit like that.
Yeah, because I was at points where it's like, okay, well, maybe it's the higher card wins if no one actually wins properly.
But yeah, then it turned out to be like incredibly simple.
Oh, it was super simple. There was one of each of the 3 things, and it was like we just put that.
But I did find that out because I went, is the answer 1, 1, 1? It's like, no. I'm like there's no one.
Yeah, because you thought because as soon as you said that about 1, 1, 1, it's like it's only actually one of each of them. 1 loss, 1 win, one dead bet. Hang on a second.
The numbers.
Hang on, we're gonna put the fucking numbers in.
Yeah.
God damn it.
That was also like the shaving cream one, where James like talking about the shaving cream. I'm like, okay, so you got to rub the shaving cream on the paintings, and he goes, okay. And then like 5 minutes later, he's read out the same thing. I'm like, okay, so have you rubbed the shaving cream on the thing? He's like, no, why would I do that? And I'm like, because it's so told to.
That's what you got to fucking do. Oh man! And then it was just the piano. It's like I could have sworn twice I put it in the correct way. And then it was just one point. Like the 3rd time I did it, it actually worked. I'm like, that's what I fucking did the last 2 times. What do you mean it's wrong?
I think my favorite one with the piano was the one where you're like, it was something about the black keys. And you're like, what does that even mean? I'm like, okay, so how many black keys are there? You're like, 11. I'm like, okay, so press the 6 one 10 times. You're like, what? Oh, it worked.
Yeah. Well, with the wording is there, it's like it threw me off. Like I wouldn't have thought to
the whole time that this is happening, I'm also just sitting here playing baseball on the Xbox.
Oh yeah, like I wouldn't have thought to like look at the black keys, but as soon as you like count the black keys, I'm like, oh, fair enough then. And go to the middle one. Oh, okay, I'll make it 6.
Yeah. Oh, that was good fun. As I said, that was a weird way for me to play. It's like
maybe it's the only way you could play that game.
It is the worst way to try and solve puzzles because I'm sitting there with some of the information.
Oh yeah.
It's like I'm sitting there being like,
No, the round after you got off was so much worse. It was
yeah,
so
I wonder.
No,
You'd lost your best player.
once again it was the thing of not gathering all the information, but because it's like
Yeah,
because
but
it's
you
like
don't you don't have an
the
excuse.
same
for
thing
that,
is
you were
that
both
this
there.
person's year, the year of this person's was born. I'm like, cool. When were they born? And then and later on, Jaden's like, oh, I've got this like birthday card that his mum sent to him. I'm like, cool, 35. It's like there's a fucking calendar in there that tells us what fucking year it is. I could have finished it ages ago if I knew the card was here.
Honestly, I think the other funny thing was how long you guys spent in the first room. And I was like making fun of Jaden being like, oh yeah, I got nowhere to put this hat. There's just a cowboy with missing his hat. There's a hat stand. And then like 10 minutes later, it's like, oh, there's a hat rack in my thing. Oh yeah, that's what we needed to do.
No, so it's like when I was looking at the card that had the hint on it, I'm like, it didn't like I looked up at the cat coat rack and everything and I'm looking around, I'm like, nothing looks like the thing on this card. Nothing looks like it at all, but the hat was involved with it. I'm like,
it was just so funny.
We're going to use the hat for something, and then later on, I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to try this thing because I originally tried it. I tried like the hook that I thought the hat was on, and it's like nothing, fucking doing nothing. Like, but it's like it was on the next one. So I ended up.
But no, it was hilariously funny for me because I've been making fun of Jay and being like, "Oh no, there's nothing the hat would be related to in my side," and then Kris was just like, "Oh wait, it's the hat stand in my side." And I'm like, "What?"
No, I never said that. What I actually did is unlocked my door and walked out and said nothing. And then
what'd you do? Oh, it was the hat stand.
It was the hat rack that was in my room.
Yeah, we're just like.
But I said, look at the card. I was looking at the card, like it didn't look like because the hat rack had like the 4 prongs on it to just sit 4 hats on. But it's like on this, it showed like 2 pieces, which looked like it was like a hinge for something. And I'm like, oh yeah, cool. So maybe there's a hinge in Jaden's cell because there's nothing in mine. So I'm just like trying to get him to look for hinges and stuff.
Fuck. But yeah. No, that was very funny for me. And I wasn't even really involved in it. I was just chilling.
Yeah, that is true.
And just occasionally solving things.
Yeah, how it was going, yeah.
But yeah, no, that was interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is.
Yeah. So that's the thing about puzzle games. I don't mind them, but I either find them either too easy or too tedious.
Right. Or with this one for you, too small a space where you got to spin around constantly.
I don't know what
the DLCs are actually bigger spaces. You might be able to.
Well, it's not. I don't think it's the space issue because the one where I was actually feeling it, it was one of the ones where it was like there was no walls or anything. I was just like, I don't know why this is making me feel sick. Plus, nothing else has ever made me feel sick. I just like, I don't know if it was just graphics combined with the controls, and it was just like that was hitting the one thing because it was like, you think about it, the same could be said for Murder on the Orient Express. That's
actually, no, it is because
and I don't ever feel sick playing that.
Yeah, fair point.
It's just that this one game has made me feel sick every time we've played it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you know the same could be said for The Room.
Yeah, true.
So I don't know what it is, but it's just this one game somehow triggers me feeling ill.
Yeah, I don't know. I because I don't have the problem. Yeah, Jaden doesn't have the problem. I don't have the problem. Like Jaden and I have gone through the whole like main stuff. Now we're going through the DLC.
It's crazy.
Nothing.
It's crazy. But yeah, no. Then I speaking of The Room 4, because I was gonna say something about it, but now I can't remember. Oh yes, The Room 4 is the other type of puzzle game that I hate because it's just tedium.
Oh yeah, like especially 4.
The puzzles themselves aren't difficult.
3 is not as tedious unless you want to get all of the achievements.
I just feel like The Room 4 is like the puzzles themselves aren't that difficult. Like I feel like The Room 1 and 2's puzzles. Well, I feel The Room 1 puzzles were much more difficult.
Yeah,
and I feel like it's because they were mostly contained
into one room.
Whereas, like, as the game got more and more, the puzzles got easier. It just had more steps. And it was like, you can't do this until you've done that. You can't do that until you've done this. And you can't do this until you've done that. And it's like, and so it leads to these really long periods where you're just like, and it's like, why didn't you do that? And it's like, because I've never been able to undo a screw with my hands before. I've always had to find a tool to do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, and this one's like, oh, you can just do it with your hands. It's like, so you're overthinking the problems. The other side of it is, you're just going backwards and forwards so much. And it's like, it feels to me like they've just bloated the runtime by making you go backwards and forwards and having all of these extra loading scenes in between the door.
Well, it's even in the room.
And that's why I hate the room.
In the room 3, like, you didn't have to do this unless you were trying to, as I said, get all the achievements. But one thing that you didn't know is in one of the rooms there was grandfather clock, which every 15 minutes would open a little slot for you to flick the switch and open the whole thing, so you can get something out of that and open the drawers on the desk behind you. But at no point anywhere, like you initially go and look at that clock and like, there's nothing here. I cannot do anything with that clock. But then the clock would go off to basically sort of hint it's like, hey, the clock's going off, but it's like, it's grandfather's clock. They go off. It's just a good feature put in. But if you were actually in the room and like noticed it, you're like, oh, it's going off. Like, hang on, what's that switch? And then you would have done it.
See, and as I said, that's the thing. That's what I hate about some puzzle games. Yeah. Like I've always done like puzzle stuff. Like I even had the puzzle books like as a kid. Yeah. You know, the ones where it's like find all of these things and you find them and they kind of show you what to look for in the next one and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I did all of that.
I
love those. I love those types of things.
Yeah.
But like just absolutely cooks me that the room is, I think, just one of the worst because it's just tedium. Like so much of it is like, I could solve this. Oh, you're missing a part, and it's like, okay, where's this part? Go to this room, then go to this room, then go to this room, then you come back to this room, and you've managed to get this key to unlock this tiny little lock to get that. I was like, no, absolutely not. In reality, I'm breaking that lock because it's made of fucking silk.
Oh yeah. It's just that thing of like, you've got to bounce between rooms constantly, and to get one part you've got to go through like 3 rooms just to get it. And it's like, no,
it's tedium.
I
hate tedium.
Could I understand the whole thing of like with the medical doll thing, how in another room you had to play something to be able to hear it from there. If it was only the 2 steps, I'd be okay with it. But there was far more steps to go with it.
Oh, it's just a pain in the butthole.
It is. I mean, don't get me wrong. I finished the game and I'm like, I'm done with it.
Exactly, and that's kind of what I hate about some games. Like, you can tell how tedious a game is when you say, I'm done with it. And it kind of comes back to something I was talking about with Jaden last night when he was like, you're like, oh yeah, I've been playing a lot of MBL. And I'm like, that's because I love sports games. They're overrated. They're underrated, sorry. And he was like, what? And I was like, they're underrated. I just play a shit ton of them. And it's like, the reason is, because I can play hours of that doing exactly the same thing, but I have fun. Whereas, like, doing puzzle games and stuff, it's like, nah. And, like, games that I do love, I love the Professor Layton series.
Yeah.
I think those games are fucking on point. But I'm just like, games, like, some of these puzzle games that are coming out now, I'm just like, I have no interest in them because they just seem to bloat their runtime by adding in all these extra steps that just don't seem necessary.
That's true.
And it's like one of the things I hate in a puzzle game is when it's like, oh, you can't solve this puzzle because it's behind glass and you've got to open the cupboard first. And it's like,
alright, punch the
motherfucker,
glass.
it's made of glass.
I can break this shit. It's like, there's a chair over there. I can do it without hurting myself.
Solve the puzzle. Done. But yeah, that's the one thing I can't stand about puzzle. I love puzzle games when it's like, the reason you have to do something is to do something that you couldn't do
without
it. It's like, like when you turn the head on the thing and it moves a part of the fireplace. I'm like, oh, that's a clever puzzle.
Oh, yes.
But when it's something like, no, you need to find a key to get into this cupboard. And it's like, if I don't care about the cupboard, I'm getting in there.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
I think it was the first.
I think that was the
episode in Escape Room Simulator. Yeah. The one where I started throwing all the stuff out the windows and broke the windows, and I was like, interesting. And then there was a cupboard there with a glass window, and I threw it in, and it didn't break, and I went, no, this is going to be one of those games.
I was throwing stuff that, because one of our ones ended up being in a train last night. And I was just throwing stuff at the windows of the train. I'm like, why aren't these breaking? I hate this. I want to break the windows. It was kind of annoying.
Yeah, no, as I said, I do love those games a lot, but I often find that the puzzles are either really, really simple, or the puzzles are really, really tedious.
Yeah.
And it's like, I like a challenging puzzle, one that makes you think. So I like the worded puzzles.
Yeah,
they're fucking brilliant, provided that they're not tedious. Like if you get a worded puzzle and it's like blah 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 this, and you got to actually decipher what's happening in there. Like that's what I was doing a lot with all the stuff you were reading out. I was listening for numbers and stuff like that, being like, okay, so these numbers could be.
Yeah, well, as soon as you see numbers in that, it's a simple. It makes it simple. But one of the books that Jaden handed me last night, I opened and I'm like, oh, cool. I'll use this for later.
Is that the casino one?
No, I think it was in the train, so you weren't there for that one. But as I had it in my hand, I'm like, yep, I'll need this for later. And then later on, it's like something came up. I'm like, oh, I think this is where we've got to use it. No. This book was useless.
Well, it's like the rules for gambling that it had, where it's like, if you do this, then this is going to happen. If you do this, then this is going to happen.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a really good puzzle.
Yeah.
Because it was like, here's everything that's going to happen. Now you just have to figure out how to use it.
Yeah.
I love that. What I really hate is when it gives you a puzzle and it's like, okay, and then you start doing a part and I can't do any more of this. And then it's like you come back ages later and it's like, oh, now I can do the next. Oh, God damn it. And just one of those ones. So, I think there's a difference, and people maybe say it's something onto themselves, but a hard puzzle is tedious. No, a hard puzzle makes you think. A tedious puzzle makes you do a whole lot of stuff to do something incredibly simple. So it's like a puzzle where you're sitting there and you're like, I already have the answer, but you can't put in the answer because it's like
it's behind these 5 locked things.
Yeah, it's like that's not a hard puzzle. That's a tedious puzzle. You've solved it. The payoff is gone.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that was an interesting night for me, is all I'm going to say.
Yeah,
then I played some Rogue Trader, because I haven't played that game in a while. In fact, over the past 2 weeks, I really haven't played much games. As I said to Jen, because it's like, you've been playing a lot, and I was like, actually I haven't. I'll start it up, and then I'll be like, okay, and then I'll be like, oh wait, I've got to do this work. And then I'll go and do the work and just leave it running.
Yeah. Do it all the time.
But Kris, I want to talk about something that's been bugging me this week.
Okay.
Mainly 2 things. The first one is the skeletal structure of a centaur.
Okay.
The second one is the letter W.
It's 2 D's.
Well, no, because if you write it in cursive, it's actually 2 U's. But why does it start with a D?
No, that's a fair point. It is a fair point. I've had this conversation with someone before. I'm pretty sure I had this conversation with someone 2 months ago.
I'm just listening to that, and I was just thinking about, I'm like, it's just the upside down M that starts with a D, and I don't like that.
Yeah. Well, actually, I know what it was. They fucking asked it at one of the trivia things. They were like, what does W start with? It's like, well, D if you spell it out. What the fuck are we spelling out a letter? No, stop it.
Very different.
So the answer is it's a D. It's like, fucking stupid.
It is stupid.
It's fucking stupid because a letter is just, it literally says in the name. It's like, W is literally just double U. Why? Why are we doing that?
No, I was just lying in bed the other night and I'm like, W sucks. W is the worst letter there is.
No, I can agree with that.
It's not even a letter. It's technically a word and a letter. It's double U.
Yes, it is. It fucking is.
I hate that about it. It's one of those things where you're like, oh, God, I hate that. I hate that so much. Couldn't we just call it something better, like what?
Yeah. Well most other fucking letters of the alphabet has its own. If you were to spell it out, has its own fucking letter in it.
A. B, C. I spent probably far too long sitting there being like, okay, hang on, what would be a replacement for what could you call it if it wasn't W? And I'm like, no, I can't do.
You can't do the thing that just about everyone's gonna turn around and say and just say, wobble you. It's like no, I've heard that so many fucking times. So
that's
why
not
don't we
even
call it wobble you?
the problem. The problem is because I know the English language, it's like, what would you call it? And you're like, I can't actually think of anything to call it, because what you would do is it'd be like, oh, well, it would just be oh shit, there's already words or sounds, but you're like, a letter sounds? D isn't really a sound, it's duh is the sound
Yeah.
it makes. So it'd be like, what? We? The letter we?
Yeah.
The letter woo?
Like, we can go with a lot here. They're all gonna sound fucking weird. Unfortunately, we've fucking grown up with it being W.
I know, but that's the point. I was sitting there and I'm like,
fuck.
oh shit, it's actually incredibly difficult to come up with a name for a letter.
Yeah.
But
Which
it
is
doesn't
100
excuse W.
It's 100% why they call it W, because they got there like, the fuck are we gonna...
I gotta come up with 26
Hey
things.
guys, it looks like two U's. Someone's just written two U's together.
Yeah.
Which I believe is why they actually call it that, because initially when they were writing it, they literally just put two U's together.
See, I don't actually.
That's what it was.
I would have to do research, but I would actually.
I did a
think it
little
comes
bit of
from
research,
the
but
sounding of it.
Look, I did a little bit of research on it. Apparently, like, fucking years ago, that's what they were actually doing. They were literally just writing two U's. And it was, I can't remember what they were doing it for, but there was something.
Well, you've got to remember that there was the whole paradigm shift in the English language.
Yeah.
If you've never looked it up, it's like called the Great Vowel Shift or something like that, where the English language fundamentally changed, and anyone before and after couldn't actually talk to each other because the words are just now completely different because the sounds of letters changed. But I think if I had to guess, I would say the name came from the sound, because D, and then they just add.
Oh yeah.
Because if you actually look, all of the letters do have spelling, but usually the spelling is like just with the two E's and like something over the E's. Like some kind of pronunciation, and it's like, that's the letter, and it's like, cool.
Yeah.
But W, so you'd think it would come from the sound of almost having the sound of two U's.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the letter we.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
Or the letter ooh. This is the letter ooh.
Just saying that's fucking weird.
It just annoys me. I don't like the fact that it is a letter that is literally a word.
No, I get it. I've had this
discussion. A word and another letter.
Yeah.
This is the W. Here's a chunkier version of you.
Oh god.
And that can apply to anyone.
Yes.
No, but like, yeah, that annoyed me. As I said, and the other one is the skeletal structure of a centaur.
Okay.
Do you know why that one is?
Why?
Because they have 2 rib cages and 4 shoulder blades.
Oh shit! Yeah,
and
that's
it's fine
right.
at a 90-degree angle.
I actually watched a video the other day where they were talking about it's like, man, the centaur is pregnant. It's like, but where's the baby? It's like, well, I imagine it to be up here. It's like, that's a really long uterus. Oh shit! Oh shit! Do they just have 2 of everything? just a thing of like, what happens? Where is it? What?
No, but it's the 4 shoulder blades, right, and the 2 rib cages, and the fact that their spine does a 90-degree fucking bend that does me.
Oh yeah, it's fair.
Just like, it just doesn't make sense.
Oh, it does. It really fucking does.
Especially considering, like, the bone structure to do that would be incredible.
Oh, of course it would be.
And this is the elbow bone.
The elbow bone.
It's used in a centaur's spine to make sure that they don't explode.
Oh shit! Yeah, no, true.
That make no sense, man.
Doesn't.
Well, I guess if you think about it like that, like, is a fish's whole body a rib cage?
That's a good point.
Does that mean that mermaids have 2 rib cages as well? Or do they just have one really long rib cage? Because traditionally a mermaid is shown fish from the waist down.
Yeah.
And a human's rib cage, and it's well above our waist.
Yes, it does. This is weird.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fantasy creatures' anatomy makes no sense.
No, it doesn't. Some people have drawn it just like, hey, this is what it looks like. Like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Then you look at it heavier into it and say, hang on a second. Why?
It's just you sit there and go, I don't like it. This I do not like.
No, not at all.
You know what I do like? Now, I don't know if this is true, but I think it's hilarious if it is. Apparently, this is an Australian animal that I honestly know very little about because I don't care, unlike most of the rest of the world. But apparently, a female quokka will throw a baby quokka at predators to save itself. And I'm like, classic.
Yes.
Like, that's a classic cute animal move because it knows it's cute. It knows that you'll look at its baby murdering self and be like, but you're cute.
You're cute. I'm going to allow this once.
Yeah. But
don't do it again. I did it again. Oh, I can't do it.
But I just kind of love the thought process of that being like, oh no, predator.
Continue the species and protect the young. Nah, fuck that. No, fuck that. I can make another.
Sort of like the I don't know if you ever watched a lot of Top Gear, but Jeremy Clarkson used this strategy once. Not a strategy. Used an analogy once from a scientific study, which I'm pretty sure never happened. But it was his analogy, and they're like, "What the heck?" It's like mother monkeys were on a hot floor with their babies, and when the floor got hot, they picked their babies up. And it's like, okay. And when the floor got even hotter, they put their babies higher. When the floor got really hot, they threw their babies on and stood on top of them. And I don't know if that study was ever done, but it was his analogy, and it's always stuck with me.
I don't remember that one.
And I honestly have
I'm pretty sure I've sat here and watched all of Top Gear with you.
I have no idea what the analogy was referring to.
No.
It was something about standing on baby monkeys.
Let's put it this way. The analogy probably didn't have anything to do with what they were talking about, knowing Jeremy Clarkson.
Very, very true. But I was just like, and that's what I love, because if this is true about the quokkas, then this animal is literally the monkey that stands on its own baby.
Yes, it is.
But
yeah,
no, it was pretty funny. The other thing that I was I was watching a short, and it was from Good Omens. You know the show Good Omens.
Oh yeah.
With
I can never remember the names, but yes,
David Tennant and Michael Sheen.
Yeah. I have watched the show.
It's when he's in the church and the Germans are there. He's like, "You can't shoot me," and then he like comes and he's like tapping his feet, and he's like, "What? Consecrated ground." It's like walking on a really hot beach.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I love the fact that like they just play it. It's like, oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's funny.
Very funny. I do love it. It is one of my shows I do like to watch occasionally. I think I watched the whole first season because it was just hilariously funny.
Is there a second season yet?
Yeah.
Oh fuck! Maybe I haven't seen all of it.
No, but like the first season, I love the fact that Jack Whitehall's character is just kind of be a witch hunter, and he's like, I'm sure I don't have anything else to do. Jack Whitehall. Pretty sure it's Jack Whitehall.
Oh, I can't fucking remember.
I just can't, but it's like, be a witch hunter, because he has nothing better to do, so he just starts doing all the witch hunts. Oh, fuck.
Oh, man. Good show.
Oh, it was very funny. Very funny.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm still stuck up on the W thing.
Yeah, I know. It's stuck with me now again.
Oh.
I got that out of my fucking head.
It's just this
fucking backing.
I just don't know what to do with it. As I said, I spent a lot of time the other night lying there being like, okay, but you could call it a... What?
You spent way too much time on that.
Maybe I did. But I'm the type of person that finds a problem and then the solution. There's no good just pointing out a problem and not having a solution for the problem.
No, true. Fair point.
That's why I opened it to the whole world. So that we can, together as a unit, because I've run it dry. I can't think of anything else.
You know, put it in the comments. What do you think it should be called?
Woo!
And just watch a shit ton of people just put W's.
The letter woo!
Spell it out, please. Let us know what you think it should be called.
This is a letter woo!
Actually, I like that one.
And what sound does woo make? What?
That's right at the start.
Such as the letter as what? Well, how do you spell what? A.
No, that's good. I like that. That's good.
You would make spelling way more entertaining.
You're also fucked up in the spelling of what?
Sorry, I was spelling it like text. W-A-T. What?
I didn't realize it straight away. I was still focused on the W.
And you can say like, who? H-O.
And so you've got to say it with excitement too, and everything else with H-O.
Okay, kids, today we'll be looking at the letter. We use it for such words as walrus. Can you spell walrus? Oh, fuck. I think that's a solution. I really think,
it is.
Fuck off this W.
That's what we're calling it. You can think of something better. Let us know.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
But guys, I'm about out of beer.
Yeah.
And I guess that means that's the end of that's all the time we have for today.
I think so.
Because I can't do this show parched.
Yes.
So, thank you for making it to the end of another video. If you liked it, consider liking, sharing, commenting, or subscribing. If you haven't already, it really does mean a lot to us here. We hope you have enjoyed your time with us. As always, I've been Darcy. That is Kris.
Yes.
And Kris Brown, so B-R-O N. Yeah, we'll catch you next time right here on the channel, guys. Yeah. Until next time, bye. Yeah. His feet would be wet and they stick into the ice.
Oh, 100%.
Because it's just how wet animals work, I suppose.
True.
I guess it's just how wet animals work.
Yeah.